Can you make authentic pizzeria-style pizza at home with 100% freshly milled whole grain flour? Well, that's what we're going to be doing in today's video, but the results actually might surprise you. Hey y'all, welcome back to Grains and Grit. My name is Felicia, and on this channel, I teach you all about real whole grains from a biblical perspective. I teach you how to be milling your wheat, why you should be doing it, baking bread, recipes, and more. So as I stated, we're gonna be making pizza today. This is actually a highly requested video, but there's gonna be some surprises along the way making this pizza at home. So good news, the recipe is actually simple, but as you will notice, and as I mentioned later on, your technique is really what matters when it comes to making that authentic pizzeria-style pizza at home using our 100% freshly milled whole grain flour. So let's get started. Okay, so let's make this pizza dough. Now, regardless of what flour combinations you've used, you're gonna want 3.5 cups of flour. So again, in this video, I'm just using all hard white wheat because I find that generally, is something that more people have. You can do other wheat combinations to give you ideas, hard white with Corazon, hard white with soft white wheat, those type of things, but all hard white works out well. So to this, you need to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then we want 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and then 1.5 cups of warm water. Now, Felicia, what temperature is the warm water? Basically, think of it this way. Your yeast is your baby. And if you would bathe your baby in the warm water, then that's fine. Too hot kills your yeast. So I just always go by warm water. What would I bathe a baby in? So not hot, not cold, just some warm water. Now, if you notice, we did not add yeast to it yet. We are gonna mix this up and we're gonna let this sit for 15 minutes because I find that with freshly milled wheat, it is better that your ingredients, it absorbs, especially the flour absorbs the water and the oils and the moisture. And the reason why we wait till later to add the yeast is that I'm not going for rising right here. I'm going for the flour to absorb the liquids. And since I already added my salt and yeast don't really like each other, so you typically don't want to add those in at the same exact time. So let me mix this up and then we're going to wait for 15 minutes. And just to show you what this looks like, this is typical where it's just a basic shaggy type dough. It's not liquidy at all. This is good, and I'll see you back in 15 minutes. Okay, so 15 minutes are up. Dough looks pretty much the same, but we've allowed the water and the oil to kind of be absorbed. And now we just add in our, let me see how much this is, 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. And now we mix this together and we start the kneading process. And you're basically just wanting to knead until you have a smoother ball of dough. For me, for this amount, it's usually only about 5 minutes, but I have found that whenever I double or triple this recipe, it actually takes a bit longer. With this amount, 5 minutes usually does a trick. Whenever I've doubled this recipe, I sometimes need about 7, 8, 9 minutes to do that. So you're gonna wanna watch it. So let's get this going, and I'll see you back in 5 minutes to show you what we're looking for. All right, 5 minutes are up, and you can probably already see how this is a much smoother ball of dough. It's been cleaned off, so that's a nice, smooth, kind of stretchy ball of dough. It is, I guess, more sticky tacky. That's okay. Now, if you have added, especially if you're using Corazon, a little bit of Corazon to this, it probably will be a little bit stretchier. So I can kind of stretch this out. I almost even get window pane. But either way, I find that so long as it's not some big goopy mess or like severely dried out, this is a good dough, because from here, you now decide what you're wanting to do. So these are your few options. One, you can bake it that day. So we're gonna be actually baking this today. Another thing is you can use this for later. So what I like to do is sometimes go ahead and divide it and then put it in Ziploc bags. I do grease the Ziploc bags, put it in my fridge if I'm wanting it the next day or two. This is fine for up to, I would say, 3 days in the fridge. The reason why people say to do this, say overnight, is it's a purely flavor thing. The longer that this sits and kind of does that cold ferment in the fridge, that flavor is going to change. You may notice it, you may not. You may not care for it. So far, my kids haven't cared at all. So I find that it's good either way, but experiment to see what you like best. But that's the beauty of pizza dough, is you can make this even a few days in advance. Another thing is you can go ahead and take this, divide it up, Ziploc bags, flatten it down a bit, and then you can even freeze this dough. So that way, whenever you're ready to make a pizza, just pull out the dough, let it thaw, maybe let it rise a little bit, shape your pizza and bake. And all of this will be in the printable recipe. So let's go ahead and take this out. So personally, I love these little type of containers because what I like to do is grease it up. I put my dough in, and then I do kind of flatten it a little bit. And then what I do is, like with a dry erase marker, I just mark where it is. Or you can, if you can remember these markings here, but it has a lid that I put on, and then I can just set this aside, wait for it to double in size, and then I'll be ready to shape it. So just know, like I said, technique matters, but at this point, so long as you have a good dough, that's good. Your technique comes in when you're actually shaping and baking that pizza, and that's really what will set things apart. So I'll see you back in an hour or so. All right, so there was a slight change in plans. It started raining the day that I wanted to make pizza, and I'm wanting to do this in my pizza oven, which is outside. So this, I actually just took the dough and I put it in a greased Ziploc bag here and just put it in my fridge. This is actually day 2 since I made the dough, and it's gonna be just fine. So I took it out, let it come to pretty much room temperature, and now we're going to shape it. And this is where your technique really matters. Now the pizza that I'm going for is more of a New York style type pizza. So it's a thinner crust, not a very thick crust. If you want a thick crust, then make it as a thick crust, but otherwise more of a New York style. Also, I'm using this in my Bighorn outdoor pizza oven, which is a 12-inch pizza oven. And to be safe, I'm gonna make this pizza about 10 inches to make sure that it's fitting in properly. So in my printable recipe, I'm going to be showing y'all, I'm going to be telling y'all different instructions based on if you're baking it in an oven with or without a pizza stone in an actual pizza oven. There will be various instructions, but today, pizza oven. Okay, so let's take our dough. Now this is half of what we made the other day. You can see this dough. It is nice and soft. It is stretchy. That is what we are wanting. And I have plenty of the leftover flour here. Now you can use corn flour, milled flour. People like to use semolina, but bottom line is you're gonna need extra flour of some kind to really dust this. And what I like to do first is just start to shape it kind of on my counter or in my hands with it dusted. And then I move it to either parchment paper or my pizza peel, depending what I'm doing. So I'm gonna just dust this here, and you wanna kind of just be gentle. And there's multiple ways of doing this. So you can start kind of folding it out like this, where you can see my fists are here at the top, and I am just slowly rotating it, stretching this dough out. And it will take some practice for you to get it into a perfect circle. Okay, and I can already tell this is gonna be too thick for what I want for a smaller 10-inch pizza. So I'm just gonna remove some of that dough and start working it. And the key is you just want it thin all around, okay? Now, liberally flour. You want to be liberal with your flour because you do not want this under any circumstance to stick. Now, I also like using a docker here. This is something the pros use that allows you to kind of roll this, but keep those holes, but it's stretching that dough. It's just helping you out. But you can use, see here with with the hands. If it starts to tear, just kind of mash it back together. Okay, but the bottom line is, especially this crust area, I want it thin because it's gonna rise. And we're going for a thinner crust. You want a thicker crust, make it thicker. Now this docker here, so this is a pizza docker. You can see it's just got these weird little, it's just a different design. It's just a unique design, but it helps stretch your pizza dough out without completely flattening it. You don't want to use a rolling pin. I found that when I use a rolling pin, it flattens the dough out too much and it doesn't allow it to rise. So that's where the docker comes in, and it leaves those traditional little holes that you'll see if you get pizza like from a pizza place. And this will be linked in the description box below. I think we just got it from Amazon, so that will be linked. Okay, so once you basically get most of the shape, you then want to transfer it either to your pizza peel, or in this case, I'm going to use parchment paper because when I got this pizza oven, my pizza peel is actually too big to fit in. So you're going to see where I'm going to kind of make do with what I've got. And that's a thing that you can do. Okay, so with this, I'm just going to transfer it. You just got to encourage your convictions, transfer it over. And again, you really would just want to make sure, keep putting flour under here if necessary, especially if you're doing this on a pizza peel and it's going to be sliding off that pizza peel. So with the pizza peel, I like to kind of do this to make sure that it's still sliding well, otherwise dust it more. But here we have our crust, and this is how thin that I like this crust to be. That is about, I would say, almost like a 1/4 inch thickness. Very, very thin, because that's gonna rise. So now that you have your pizza crust shaped, now it's the fun part. You get to make your pizza. And I did forget to mention that while doing this, you need to make sure that you are completely preheating your oven, or in my case, my pizza oven, all the way. If you're using a regular oven, you want it as hot as it will go. And my pizza oven, it says, takes about 18 to 25 minutes to do. The key here with your crust is you basically just want to do your toppings up to your crust. There's no need to fold. It will be really thick if you do, and that's going to rise. And I like to have a kind of a smaller crust, so I'm doing it like within maybe 1/2 inch of the crust here. And then from there, we're just gonna do a basic pepperoni pizza. Just trying to even that out as much. And then we're just gonna put some pepperoni on, seasonings on that you may want. All right, and we are done. I do not rise it from here. It just goes straight into the oven. But the key is making sure you have a completely hot, piping hot oven before baking your pizza. All right, so I'm actually gonna slide this into my pizza peel, onto my pizza peel, because I now transfer this outside to my pizza oven, and I will see you out there. All right, y'all, I'm out here in 90,000 degree weather and 25,000% humidity because I'm in Florida and decided to cook outside like an idiot. But for the majority of y'all, you probably do not have this problem right now in September. It's cooling down for you, and outdoor cooking is great. So I'm gonna be a hot mess doing this, but we've got my Bighorn. This is the Bighorn Outdoors pizza grill. Now this is the 12-inch wood pellet grill. I will say I've never grilled with wood pellets. There was a learning curve for me. I'm also typically not the griller, my husband is. So this was a big learning curve for me. But if you have experience with wood pellets, probably go easier for you. They also do offer this in I think a gas and propane, and then also an indoor one as well. So if you don't have the setup for being outside with a pizza oven, they do have an indoor option as well. But I'm really excited about this because the beauty of the pizza oven is, first of all, it cooks the pizza like crazy fast, like only a couple minutes. And this is what your pizzerias are typically using when they're making a Firestone type pizza. So this has gotten very much up to temperature. Now with this particular pizza oven, just know the wood pellets do not come with it. And also it does not have a thermometer. So they state to get one of those infrared type thermometers to test the temperature on the inside. This has been going for about 20 minutes. They say it takes 18 to 22 minutes to heat up. So I'm pretty certain this is up to temperature. It feels very hot. So again, this is the Bighorn Outdoor wood pellet pizza oven. I will be linking that for y'all below, and I have a coupon code for you as well. Just know that expires very soon. I believe September 22nd. I'll list the details up here of when that coupon code expires, and it'll be in the description box below. But I think this is an excellent, especially beginner type pizza oven, because it's not a massive, huge investment, but it works pretty well. And when you're like me and get over the newness of cooking with wood pellets, it's actually not that difficult to operate. So let's bake this pizza up. Okay, so naturally, doesn't matter how many times I have done this way, this is the one time that I have like one of the most epic fails ever, but you're gonna watch it. So basically what you do is you just slide your pizza in. Ideally, you need to do this with a pizza peel. And then after about a minute, you rotate it. And this is when it just, my technique, I just didn't put it in quite right. And as you can see here, the pizza kind of stuck out a bit. And for the life of me, I could not get it completely on that stone. So I had a slight panic moment, had to yell at one of my kids to run inside to get a spatula because I didn't have one with me. And then part of the pizza came off because it wasn't fully done. But bottom line is I figured it out and scraped off anything that had slightly burned. All right, so here we are with our pizza, y'all. So I'm leaving this in. I was really debating on taking the slightly failed, more like not a fail, an ugly pizza out, but I wanted to leave it in to kind of show you the importance of actually making sure you have the right size pizza peel. What I have here is my Pampered Chef one. It's a 14-inch pizza peel that just, I can't get it in. So Bighorn Outdoors does sell the accessories with these pizza grills. So if you don't have like 10 to 12-inch pizza peel, you're gonna wanna get that, because this was very difficult to rotate in the pizza oven without a proper pizza peel. But I will say, this actually turned out really well. So here's the crust underneath. It gets that charcoaliness. And I will say the texture, which is something that you cannot really, you can't really see on camera as much, but the texture, I will say, the crust feels great. And we're gonna take this back inside and we're gonna eat this, but also I'm gonna be showing y'all how to make it in an oven as well. So here's the ugly pizza, but probably still delicious. Again, shows the importance of having the right tools for the job. And otherwise, we will see you inside. Okay, so just know that in the printable recipe below, I will have all the different ways of actually baking a pizza depending on what you have. So oven, pizza stone, no pizza stone, whatever. But either way, regardless of how you're baking it, you're still just going to shape the crust and put it all together the same way. So I'm still doing a New York style thin crust type pizza. This one is definitely going to be larger than I can do in the the pizza oven. But at some point, like I said earlier, you just want to transfer it to the pizza peel, give it a good shake, add some more flour. You're just constantly wanting to make sure that it's flour dusted enough that it is not going to be sticking. And then you just add in your toppings as normal. And while you're doing all of this, you need to just be making sure that you are preheating your oven as hot as it possibly goes. And if you have a pizza stone or pizza steel, it needs to be in the oven preheating as well. Now, I do have a pizza stone that I keep in my oven, and so if you've got that, the pizza goes right onto it, piping hot, bakes about 8 minutes. This is what it looks like after 8 minutes, but to give it that extra special touch, I then just stick it back in under the broil for about 1 to 2 minutes. What you see here is after it's been under the broiler for 2 minutes. And I will say this looks beautiful, but as you will see in a minute, we're going to compare it to the pizza oven pizza, and it's just going to be different. So here's the pizza we cooked in the oven. It looks great. It tastes great. But let's compare to the one that we did in the pizza oven. I've already taken a bite of, and I know it's ugly, but what I really wish that you could understand and see was the difference in the texture. So here's a close-up of the oven pizza. You can see that crust is thinner, which if you like, that's great, but not a lot of holes in them, even though the toppings are staying on just fine. But compared to the pizza oven, that really got a bit thicker. You can see there's more holes in there. It's also more of that crusty crust that you get in a pizzeria. So there you have it, y'all. The pizza was delicious, but I have to say it definitely was better when actually baking it in a pizza oven. And there's just, you cannot compete with that with a home oven. So I definitely recommend that you check out Bighorn Outdoors pizza ovens. Again, they have different ones based on how you prefer to cook. And again, the link will be in the description box below, along with that coupon code that expires pretty soon. So you're gonna need to check that out. And if you actually enjoy cooking outdoors, 'tis the season, it's coming up, the cooler weather, everything like that. Be sure to check out this video here where I actually did fully off the grid baking bread. I milled the wheat, I baked the bread all off grid in a grill. So very interesting video you're gonna wanna check out. And as always, I hope that y'all have a wonderful day and I'll see you next week. Bye.